Welcome. Hello, everybody. It is RambleCast time.
Hello.
Um, I know you're all probably missing some music, so really quick, I'm going to actually kick that on. Um, I still need to fix something in my setup. Wait, is it actually playing? No, I'm not sure. So someone will have to tell me and confirm if it's playing, because... Oh, no, I hear it. And I think I see it on the audio mixer. It's hard to tell because I have to pipe it through the same thing Corbin's going through. Hey, Austin, how's it going, man? Anyway, it's December 15th. We are a mere 3 days away from the Techathon. I think that math is right. I went to college.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
numbers and stuff.
Oh, I had to think about it not because I don't know what day it is, but what day Techathon is, but because I don't know what today is.
I know.
So I had to check.
Okay, Austin confirms music is playing, so I've at least done one thing correct today.
Good.
Because believe me, I feel pretty dumb about half the other shit I've done today. Corbin knows what I'm talking about. I was referencing it earlier, just before we went live. And by that I mean arguing with stupid people.
The best activity to do on the internet.
God, it really is. There's a powerful ability for stupid people to get heard on the internet.
Yes. So I guess I'll mention. I'm pretty sure everyone who's watching is just the people that have already watched all of Cody's other streams about this, but just in case there's a new person showing up, Techathon is this Saturday and Sunday, the 18th and 19th, I believe. Yes. And it's a charity live stream. We're doing 6 hours on one day and 6 hours on the other day. And it will... Oh, my phone is not on Do Not Disturb. Okay. It will benefit Direct Relief, which is a really cool organization that does emergency medical services in over 80 countries and all 50 U.S. states. And they're a really cool organization, and all the money we raise is going straight to them. We're not taking a cut. The payment provider, Tiltify, doesn't take a cut. It just all goes straight to them, which is nice. And gonna have a bunch of tech people coming on. We've been doing guest announcements on the Techathon Twitter. So I'm gonna be there. Cody's gonna be there. Other people from Android Police, XDA developers are going to be there. We've got a couple like independent YouTubers, tech YouTubers that are going to show up. We're doing what?
For a second, I think we lost you. Either you went super silent or...
Oh, yeah, my internet's being bad today.
Yeah, I noticed video drop out a few times. I just thought it was a fluke.
I don't know what's up. But yeah, so we're doing party games, we're doing just general discussion stuff like this kind of deal. We're gonna do some other stuff, so hopefully gonna be really fun. If you go to techathon.live, and Cody, if you could be so kind as to pop that link in the YouTube chat, because people might spell Techathon wrong, but techathon.live, we have the Twitter link, we have Twitch link, so you can follow on Twitch and know when we go live. We have the full schedule on there, so you can just show up when something you're interested in happens instead of just sitting there for the full 6 hours. But yeah, hopefully it will go well. Last year, it was a little bit different. We did like one continuous 24-hour stream, which was a nightmare. I never want to do that again, or at least I don't want to be the one responsible for setting that up again. I'll join if someone else does that, but that was not fun to plan. But we did get like over $2,000 last year for Doctors Without Borders. So it'd be cool if we can get anywhere close to that again.
Wasn't it 3,000?
I think it was 2,000. Let me check. It's if I scroll down a little bit on the Techathon Twitter, I'll find it. Oh yeah, it was $2,820.
Oh, okay. Huh. Okay. Anyway, yes. So, I don't know what Corbin's planning to be involved in. You can certainly jump in and comment on that. I believe I'll probably be joining the Jackbox Party Pack at well, it'll be 6:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 my time. I'll probably hop in during the discussion chatting session. That's about 3 hours later. And then on Sunday, I'll probably also be hopping into the looks like just, well, maybe the Jackbox again, and then for sure the discussion session. So that's likely my visits. Oh, my mic is low. How's that?
I think I turned my mic up because I figured out the reason why I cut out on Discord a lot is just because my gain is so low that it keeps thinking I'm background noise. So I had to tweak it on my end.
Okay, I turned up my gain a tiny bit. Okay. It does look like... Okay, it looks like I'm now roughly matching your level. Which is funny because I actually have permanently turned down your level. No, because you Jitsi, I don't know if it's Jitsi or you, but you always come across louder. So I already have yours set to... what is this? No joke. Negative... Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, I was about to say the wrong number. I have yours set to negative 4.3 decibels, which means, which is effectively cutting your volume in half. Or wait, is that right? Every 3 decibels, I think, is supposed to be half. Might have that wrong. It's been a while since I've heard it.
Speaking of Jitsi, it keeps giving me pop-ups every like 3 minutes that it detected a new camera and microphone, which is my capture card I left plugged into the computer. So that's fun. Hopefully that'll stop at some point.
That actually might explain why your video keeps popping out. I was assuming it was an internet issue, but yeah, that could actually be the explanation for why you popped to the... yeah, you just did it twice.
I did. Hold on, I'll unplug it. I don't think that's what's doing it. I think that's just my bad internet. Let's see.
Austin says he is available to do a session on SpiderMan No Way Home spoilers that he's found on the internet.
Austin, I will hit you.
Austin, I wouldn't really care. I mean, I won't go out of my way to check out spoilers, but I also just don't care enough anymore. Movies are half spoiled at this stage. I've kind of just come to accept it.
Yeah, but I was telling Cody before it started, Zach Wonder and Jules Wong at Entered Please, we were spending like 3 hours trying to get the OBS setup ready for Techathon. Because last year we did this, it worked out where we were using Jitsi for the video and audio call component. So we could get just everyone in one video call and have them show up nice on the OBS panel. And then when we switched to games, that panel kind of moved into the corner. And we were using the browser source in OBS. So the entire call was like inside of OBS. It wasn't recording another window, which just makes a lot of things easier. And we had like custom CSS to make it look better. We did, I was using custom CSS to make the page background green. So then we could chroma key it to the artwork we had for the event. So it worked out really well. None of that works anymore. Because and this took a lot of investigating. I didn't know OBS had a like a debugger for the browser source component. Now I know that. I wish I didn't have to use that ever, but I did. And it turns out that Jitsi at some point started using a API for JavaScript promises that was added in, I believe, Chrome 78 or 75, one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And Jitsi would no longer load inside of OBS. And we did a little bit of investigating and found that the Chromium engine in OBS is one version behind what is needed for that to work. And so the only solutions would be I spin up my own Jitsi server with the old version, which sounds horrible, or just record a browser window. So I was like, well, I don't really want to do that. So I made this like batch script that opens a Chrome has a few launch parameters you can use to change how it opens or functions. So I made a batch script that opens Chrome in the app view. So like when you add an app to your start menu or whatever from Chrome, and it hides all the browser stuff.
Yeah, as Corbin cuts out again. Oh, yeah. Wow, that lasted a while.
Size, so hopefully that works. And what else did I do? A couple other tweaks, and then we're using like deprecated APIs in Jitsi to make the colors like in the background different, so we can still chroma key them. Anyway, it's really janky, but it does work now.
I don't know if you remember this, but last year, at least for the opening, like the D&D session and chat session that followed, I think, or whatever it was something like that. I ran the OBS stream for that part, and the first thing I did was I ripped apart all the OBS stuff you guys had done, remade it in OBS for myself, because running on a Mac even then was problematic because a browser source window is broken as fuck in OBS on Mac. So I redid it all myself, and it worked like perfect, and then it got transferred over to someone else, and I remember it broke somehow in like the first, as soon as someone tried running it, and then there was a scramble to fix something, and I don't know how that got fixed.
I remember when it was my turn to host it, I think we went like 30 minutes until realizing my microphone was off. So that was fun. Right. Yeah, but that's not really an OBS fault. That's a me fault. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be great. I should probably do a test stream somewhere before everything, just to triple check. But so that's what I was doing most of this.
And I think we're going to keep losing Corbin. I wonder if it would do any good if you just reconnected to Jitsi. Ah, there we go. You got the same thinking I did. All right, we'll just wait.
Okay, I rejoined. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Austin said, "Why hasn't anyone made decent live streaming software? You think Google or Twitch would be all over that?" I mean, OBS and XSplit are good. They're just like power user tools. Like, they take a little bit of getting used to. They're pretty versatile. It's just live streaming is hard.
Yeah.
Especially when you want to move beyond just like recording a single window or just a computer screen.
Yeah. Well, when it comes down to it, OBS, and this is something that they point out pretty liberally if you actually look into it, they're very proud of the fact that OBS is used for a lot of stuff, not just live streaming to the internet. They obviously doing recordings, things like that, but it can be used for like actual television broadcasts and other other things. It can be used for big live stream operations. It can handle a lot of different functions and capabilities. It does a lot, and I'll give them credit for that. For an open source project, that it's a pretty huge undertaking. XSplit is paid. There's one other, I can't think of the name of it right now, but there is one other streaming software package that gets a fair amount of use. Anyway, and then of course technically I guess you could count Streamlabs OBS, which is whatever. Anyway,
like it's like, oh, what's my favorite operating system? Oxygen OS. Like, okay, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, the reality is, like, they're pretty big projects, and at this stage I think nobody wants to try to do this unless they're guaranteed a huge amount of money from it. And honestly, there's not a lot of money to be made when OBS already exists. That's kind of, I hate to put it that way, but when you have an open source project that's entirely free and widely used, it's really tough for someone else to come along and say, hey, I want to make a thing, and oh, by the way, I'm going to charge $40 for it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to pay.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing, how Google has killed countless tech products and companies just because they come into the market with something that's free. Where even if there's established presence already, it wipes them out, and then Google can stand to lose a couple million on stuff, and then later they can charge for it. Like what happened to every single photo hosting company when Google Photos was announced. All gone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is definitely a thing. Like, in no way do I want to like say that it's a bad thing that there's free software out there, especially since it's actual open source as opposed to Google just making a free service. But yeah, I mean, it does kind of guarantee there won't be competition because nobody wants to compete with free. And then because OBS is such a large project and it is entirely run by, well, mostly run by volunteer work, it is all technically volunteer work, but they will spend money donated to the project on, like, I don't want to say, well, I guess the best way to put it is hardware that they use for testing, which is kind of a generous way of saying, yeah, they still kind of spend it on themselves, but that's fine. I mean, they're doing that much work. Cheers. I encourage it. But yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for them to get too much money out of it, and since it's all volunteer work, it happens as they get to it. And there are a lot of feature requests people have made, and pretty much all the organizers of the project have all said, look, like, we appreciate that people want some of this stuff, but none of us have a use for it. So It's kind of just, when someone feels like doing it, they'll do it. Otherwise, you're probably not getting this.
Yeah. It's very much like half the time when Google wants to mainline something into the Linux kernel that they did in their Android Linux kernel, and the Linux devs are like, what? No. Why'd you put this in there? Like, no, we're not having like a driver model. That's Windows.
Yeah.
Put your drivers in the kernel like you're supposed to, like God intended.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it is that way, but yeah, there's only so much you can do. And for those who recall this discussion, this is exactly the reason why I actually can't get rid of my old MacBook Pro for a while, because the OBS project has basically just said, look, we want to support the M1 Macs, but we're not there yet, and no one has one, so tough luck.
Yeah, that's where I am with Nexus tools, where I had to keep bugging Zach to test a build on his MacBook, because like I don't have a M1 computer, and I'm not buying one because I don't really have a use for one or need one right now. So yeah, Super cool of Apple to not have like any kind of like cloud testing suite or anything for that. Very cool.
Would you have wanted to pay for their cloud testing suite though?
Well, presumably I would only need it for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be fine. Obviously, something like OBS is slightly more work than my command line application that runs for like 30 seconds. But yeah, I do have cloud compiling though with GitHub Actions though. So now I don't need a Mac anymore to do like the final release stage stuff. I still kind of need one to test with. Like if I make a change, I probably should still test it on a Mac. But yeah, at least now that final stage is like, oh, cool. I can just click a button and I'll come back in 10 minutes and the release is done. So that's fun.
Yeah, it counts for something.
And I'm trying to check something, but the website is not working on my computer, so I need to do it on my phone.
Man, you're having all kinds of internet problems today.
I don't know if it's internet or just this service, but
I mean, at this point, it's all of the above.
Yeah, I've been screwing around with my internet stuff the past couple of days. Like, my modem was getting to the point where just like my internet would just become slow.
Mm-hmm. And he's gone again. Go ahead.
See, when I cut out, or when you say I cut out, you're still totally fine on my end. So I don't know what's going on. Let me try. I'll just try Chrome. Firefox or Jitsi probably didn't test in Firefox again. All right, hold on.
Okay. So, B. Slidem, if you had a son, not a daughter, you'd be going to see SpiderMan instead of Sing 2. Oh, my sympathies, my brother. That's the suck. But hey, at least on the plus side, you're still going to see a movie that some effort went into. I mean, that counts for something, right? Let's see. And Austin, it better not be like the last James Bond where the title was a lie. You mean that is that possibly a smack against Daniel Craig as James Bond? Because it should be. Corbin, welcome back.
I'm in Chrome now against my will. We'll see if this does anything.
If it counts for anything, your image is like 10 times sharper. Like Great. It legitimately looks way better.
Lovely. David Lama said, couldn't you get an iPad? Who's getting an iPad? Is it me? Or you?
Neither.
Who's getting? I would like an iPad for testing, but I don't have a need for one at this moment.
Yeah, and an iPad wouldn't really factor in for Nexus tools, since that is pretty exclusively a desktop project.
Yeah, I did see.
Oh, well, looks like we've got another cutout.
Oh.
That you heard me perfectly too.
And see, I just went to website and it's low. So I guess my upload is fucked, but not the download.
That's what it would seem.
I hate computers.
You live in an apartment community with like 30 other people who are all streaming right now.
I guess.
I don't know. I'm just making that up, but it's a funny thought. Well, I suppose there is a possibility that in theory, I don't know, that wouldn't make sense. Jitsi wouldn't behave this way. I was gonna say in theory it could be my download is screwed because we are having really bad rain and just generally crummy weather here, but Jitsi shouldn't be behaving as well as it is. Like, Jitsi's working great, and if my download's screwed from weather, you'd think my upload would be bad too, but I assume somebody in chat would have by now mentioned, hey, you're cutting out really bad, you suck. And no one has said that. So yeah, I think it's just your upload is getting screwed somehow. So
Amazing.
speaking of, who's going to be hosting or who's going to be running OBS for the Techathon?
Well,
oh God, he cuts out as he's going to answer. Oh, this is going to be fun.
oh gee.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you again.
Yeah, I got. Well, I was planning to, except for that large block of time where we're doing CS:GO and Valorant, because I don't have either of those games and I'm not playing them. So either Adam or Evan will be streaming at that time. So yeah, because it's only 6 hours each time, and I'll probably generally be around for the entire time both days. Like, I don't need to do like 5 stream handoffs like we did last year. So
Yeah, that was interesting.
I'm shocked that worked as well as it did, Frank. I was totally expecting there to be a major screw up. Like, I'd go to sleep and I'd wake up to like 15 text messages like, Corbin, the stream key isn't working. We haven't actually been streaming for the past 8 hours, but that didn't happen, so that's fine.
I mean, yeah, that honestly wouldn't come across as much of a surprise, but you never know.
Yeah.
And
I am ordering food, and when it gets here, I'm leaving. But it's probably gonna be a while, so
watch, it'll be 10 minutes, which will raise a lot of questions about how that food was made so quickly. But yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna say, I finally unfucked the analytics data on Nexus tools like a month ago. So now I have like accurate data again about with the Mac people, who's using it on Apple Silicon and who's not, how many people are using on Windows and Chromebooks and stuff. It's pretty interesting. Looking at the past 30 days of the good stats, x86 Macs are still the most popular platform for Nexus tools. I believe.
I think I generally would expect that.
Yeah, well, because I know like Nexus tools is interesting because, as far as I know, most people don't find it through just like the direct GitHub page, like where I have like the install stuff listed and what it does and stuff. They find it through guides people have published over the years of like how to install ADB on your computer, and then whenever they get to the section that's for Mac or Linux, they'll include the install command for Nexus tools. I've seen a lot of like Mac guides specifically for this, so that makes sense. And then second most popular at this point is actually Windows, which really surprised me because I know Windows is like the most used operating system on the planet, but although, you know, still like a lot of the guides and historical stuff for Nexus tools didn't mention any of that because I only added Windows support like 2 months ago. So
I thought you've had it for a long time.
It's worked in the Windows subsystem for a long time.
Oh.
But I just added native Windows support, like when I did the rewrite to Dart.
Okay.
Because now that it's not a Bash script, it can work on Windows, and it installs like the Windows ADB drivers and all that stuff. So yeah, Windows is number 2, which is surprising to me. Number 3 is ARM Mac. Number 4 is Chrome OS, just all of it. If it tries to run an ARM Chromebook, it just fails, so I don't get that data. And then normal Linux after that, and then in the past 30 days, I've had a whopping 2 people run it on the Windows subsystem for Linux. So.
Okay. Exciting, I think.
I find it. I didn't expect Windows to become the number 2. Yeah, so I don't know. I again, like, I don't have good stats about like where people find Nexus tools from, really. I know I was recommending it to people when Windows added the Android subsystem because it was a really quick way to get ADB set up on Windows. You could sideload stuff into the Android app layer on Windows 11. But I don't know if like anyone wrote like guides or published that somewhere else. But yeah, so that's fun. And that's still on average like it goes back and forth between being my most popular project at any given time and the second, because PhotoStacks has like 20 to 35 people using it a day roughly, so it's about the same as Nexus tools. But yeah, Austin said AWS has had a troubled month so far too. I couldn't charge my car this afternoon at work because AWS was down. Oh jeez.
Oh wow. That's not what you expect to hear.
No, that totally checks out though, because all those I don't know if you have if Austin's talking about like a Tesla supercharger or something, but like everyone who's not Tesla just has the worst chargers in public. They're all like they're basically like ATMs where like nothing is really happening on the thing. It's all connected to cloud stuff. Like most of them don't even have like payment processors on the station itself. It's all linked to accounts.
But yeah, that's dark. That's real dark.
Yeah. Well, I think, now we found out that if we go to war against a nation state and they want to cripple us, they really just have to send like a pipe bomb to US East 1, and that's it. They've taken out all of the US infrastructure.
Good job giving them ideas.
I'm sure they knew that already.
No kidding. Yeah. No, really, yeah. Take down, all you'd have to do is take down like 3 or 4 data centers, maybe a couple of places where there are a lot of internet backbones all connecting. Yeah, that would pretty much do it.
Yeah, maybe go cut a underwater fiber cable somewhere. That would probably that would be really difficult to deal with.
Yep, all of it comes crumbling down shockingly fast.
Austin said, yeah, we have free Greenlots chargers, but you still need to use an account. Yeah. I don't know how many accounts I had to sign up for and put my credit card in when I had my Leaf, where like every time I drive somewhere new, it's like, oh, I've never heard of this company before. Time to spend 10 minutes on my phone signing up for an account so I can put the code in to pay for the electricity.
That sounds like an awesome experience.
Yeah.
And a reason why autofill exists.
Yeah. I wonder why EVs haven't really taken off yet in the US. It's a complete mystery.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like that's something that is going to get fixed someday. It just hasn't gotten there yet. I say know it, but yeah. We all know that's wishful thinking.
No, I just need all of them to have like an NFC.
And the draw.
That's a reason.
Oh, you're back.
Be the upload. Let me see. I'm gonna do a speed test.
Yeah. I am always confused why, with a technologically forward-thinking thing like EVs, you would think that somebody would have sat down and said, okay, no, like, we have to work this out. Let's come up with one singular thing, get everybody on board. Here's how you sign up, or here's a single sign-on account that'll just work with everybody. Like, some companies should have just said, look, no. All you guys have to do, we will handle the account. People sign up with us. Then, they come to you, they use our account to sign on with you. Done. Easy. That would have made so much more sense. Or even a billing company that just straight up says, look, we'll handle all the billing. That's it. Easy. We don't want to do charging. We just want to do the billing.
Yeah, I know. Like, I also just brought up. There's a unified payment consortium that will auto pay when you plug in, but I believe only the Mach-E supports it and Electrified America. I know also ChargePoint, which is one of the larger networks. They have agreements with other networks to for billing. So if you just have like a ChargePoint account or like their card thing, a lot of them work with that, but still you're going to run into cases where you have to go sign up for something on a poorly designed mobile website in the middle of nowhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, payment terminals that are left alone are not good outside.
Yeah, that is true.
I but
Oh my god. Yeah, this signal's just something. Here's a thought. Maybe, I hate saying this, but maybe kill your video.
okay.
I'm wondering if your video is just
That's good.
it's struggling too much because you're trying to send both, and
Well, I don't like looking at myself, so I'm only seeing positives trying this method.
Well, that's fair. The only thing that kind of sucks about killing your video is now it's one fewer hint that you've actually cut out. Now, because before, at least, like, the video would freeze for a second and stop, and then your voice would usually disappear like a second later. But
Well, now if I stop in the middle of the sentence, you're left guessing. Did I stop just to screw with you, or did I stop because my internet died?
is Corbin's stutter back, or is the
Wow.
internet just dead?
Wow.
Wow. Owen Wilson, wow.
Wow.
Oh my god. That joke has been made so many times. I feel like
And
we
it's-
just aged the stream like 10 years.
And it's still funny. Did you did you watch it all, Owen Wilson, recently on Saturday Night Live?
That would imply I watched Saturday Night Live recently.
Okay. I turned Saturday Night Live on a couple weeks ago, and I think it was the first or second episode of the new season. They had Owen Wilson on, and they did like a whole sketch where he was coming in to record lines for a new Cars movie, but it just got progressively like more.
Oh. Hey. Oh, now I can tell when Corbin cut out after all, because the Jitsi stream, where when there's no video, it just shows the letter and like a, movement. That movement freezes. So if it freezes while you're talking, the movement just stays. Like that. Wow. That's something. Anyway, so try again. What happened?
Ow. It was just the skit was just that they went to record a new thing for like they went in to record voice lines for a new Cars movie, and it just became like progressively more offensive and and racist. He was like, "Should I be saying this, guys? I don't know." It was great. I'll try to find it. They probably put a clip of it.
Carson bringing up the actual topics, which I have a few of my own too.
Oh, good, they have it. All right, I'll put it in the
RambleCast.
Discord. Yeah, you can go watch it at your leisure. I thought it was funny. I think almost anything Owen Wilson does is funny. So, Austin said, "What if we pay with crypto?" Austin, I'm gonna hit you again.
Ooh. Again. I feel there's a story there.
Well, I hit him the first time when he brought up the spoiler thing. Austin's trying to make a speed run to get on my shit list.
Well, at least he's not suggesting that they trade NFTs. Like, literally go sit down at a charging station and it's like, I'll give you my monkey for 3 months of free charging. Which also, that would be the most expensive charging anyone ever had to do. Those monkeys are ridiculously overpriced.
I know. I got my monkey for like $3, and He shits on my floor sometimes, but he's cute.
I got my monkey with a right click. And there I go, making the other painfully obvious joke of the year. No, anyway, so in higher points, shall we actually hit some topics?
Sure. What's happened?
Okay, well, we can actually start with the one Carson just dropped into the Discord. You can now track Apple AirTags with your Android phone, but there is, in fact, a catch.
Oh, yes, I wrote about this.
Yeah, I know you did, actually. I was kind of planning on bringing this one up anyway, so that's perfect. I just didn't dig up a link yet.
Link my article?
He did not.
Damn it. Carson? He's trying to make me angry on purpose now. I can feel it.
That's possible.
Yeah,
it is fun.
Yeah, this was a fun thing because a couple months ago, I think in July, Apple finally responded to all the people who correctly brought up that it's incredibly easy for someone to stalk another person just by like sneaking an AirTag into their bag or pocket or car or something. And Apple announced / started working on some mitigations for that. Like now AirTags will start beeping just randomly if they're left alone for a while, or if they're away from whoever owns the AirTags specifically.
Okay. You almost certainly cut out there, but yeah. So they are going to start beeping, which is yay.
I think they do that already.
Yeah, I thought so too. I don't have one, so I wasn't really sure, but
yeah, they announced that, and then they also announced. Well, the thing is that if you have an iPhone, and this was the kicker before, if you had an iPhone and a lost AirTag was around you, and it kept like following you, like if your iPhone kept scanning for an AirTag and it kept finding one that you did not own, it would be like, hey, there might be a weird AirTag near you. You should go look for it. But of course, that relies on A, having an iPhone, and B, having an iPhone on iOS 14.5, which is when they added this feature, because Apple puts everything in OS updates, not app updates. So, so if you had an old iPhone or an Android device, you're just out of luck, which they've now kind of fixed the Android part. They released a tracker detect app, which is literally the bare minimum what they could do. There's no you open the app and it scans, and it takes a very long time to scan, and if there's an AirTag around you, it will tell you, but there's no way to have it run in the background, which like iPhones can. Someone pointed out in the comments from my article that there's a third-party app for AirTags that does this already, that someone made for Android. Let me see what it's called. It is called AirGuard, and it just scans for AirTags in the background like an iPhone does. So I don't know why Apple couldn't do that. But yeah, so probably not great. I don't think this app that's missing like the main thing people were looking for is a good answer to all the people concerned about privacy with AirTags. It's like, hey, if you remember to open the app every once in a while and just let it scan, you're good. Like, I don't know about that. So yeah, that was kind of a letdown.
Yeah, oh wow, I'm dumb. I just realized I didn't share my screen when I thought I had. I've been making a point of like scrolling pages and showing stuff off this whole time, and yeah, I was on the wrong view. Oh, I need to get a Stream Deck. Anyway, yeah, this is. I almost want to give Apple minimal credit for this, but giving them minimal credit honestly seems like too much.
Yeah, this is like if Apple made a car without seatbelts, and then everyone pointed out that like, hey, it's like extremely easy to die in this car, and then Apple released an update for the car that added a seatbelt, but it without a shoulder strap. Like that's what this feels like.
I was gonna go if I did that metaphor, I would have gone more with like they built a self-driving car, but there's no manual control and you can't tell it where to go. Then they release an update that let you pick like one direction. You couldn't change the direction. You could just say go south, and that's all it's going to do from that point on.
Yeah.
Which, judging by the review score of a 2.2, I think it's safe to say Apple's app has already gone south.
Yeah, they're not that happy.
Austin brought up XDA has a new look, and it didn't break the entire site. That's a thing you could say.
Yeah. The web, yeah.
and it didn't break the site, but it did break the Corbin.
So the funniest thing with that was I was scrolling through the Twitter replies from when XDA announced the new logo, it's the same as the old one, but one side of the logo is now like a reddish pink and the other side is blue. And someone replied to the tweet that was like, "Oh, that's great. When did you come out as bisexual?" And I went and looked at the bisexual pride flag, and it's the same color. So XDA's bi now.
Well, hey, they've always kind of supported two operating systems at once, so
yeah,
why not?
Here at XDA, we love both men and women equally.
I gotta admit, when I didn't really make much out of this until I saw that one tweet that said, unprompted, it said that the goal of the new logo was to be more inclusive. And the moment I saw that, it's like, that's kind of just that feels bogus. Like that just does not feel honest to me. You're not designing a logo for a tech news site to be like inclusive. Don't buy that. Especially when the logo still looks like a freaking Q. I'm sorry, but at this point in the history, don't make stuff that looks like a freaking Q. It's such a bad choice.
Man, those QAnon people really ruined a good letter.
They did not. Q is barely a decent letter. I mean, the only cool thing about Q is it can sometimes, in some instances, really it can substitute for a K.
Q is also one of the best Star Trek characters. So.
Oh, okay, that's a fair point. John Delancey really did own the Trek history.
He's so good.
He really is. Honestly, like, if it weren't for him and Picard, Next Generation would not have been that good of a show.
No.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Cheers, Data was awesome. I mean, we all love Data. Worf, pretty badass. Riker, always good. Well, usually good.
Always sitting in chairs a funny way.
Yes, always sitting in chairs a funny way. And even the Doctor. I know, not everyone liked the Doctor, but I thought she was good. Mm-hmm. Really, the only one who was terrible was Marina Sirtis.
Yeah, I've watched like a lot of like of her appearances at like conventions and stuff, and she seems like a really funny person. And I think she just totally got completely shafted in that show when they kept giving her terrible episodes and
The most
when she
awful uniform ever.
yeah, the word like the only person on the bridge who had to wear like that cat suit thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course she said a bunch of funny stuff about that. It's great, but um, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, John Delancey, let's go. Oh! I know what happened, and I have about 10 to 15 minutes until my food gets here, according to DoorDash. The Android games on Windows stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'll put a link. Put a link.
He's rushing to get an XDA link.
No, I'll do the original source on this one, Cody.
Is what, The Verge?
Well, yeah. Well, the original source was the game event thing, but The Verge had more details. But yeah, so the Game Awards happened last week,
Yeah.
which I didn't really care about.
Nobody did, I think.
Yeah, I don't care for awards shows ever, and now it's like half award show, half announcement, and the guy who was doing it, my opinion of him was soured when the whole stuff with Activision going on, and he was like, I don't know. Just firmly middle of the road motivation there, but yeah, so I didn't watch it, but there was the whole Google made a surprise announcement, which was not about Stadia. And if you want some free entertainment, go do a search for the word Stadia on Twitter and keep scrolling until you get to the stuff from last week, because there were some very sad Stadia players on Twitter who were in anguish almost. And I don't have anything, like, I don't have a personal vendetta against Google Stadia, but it was kind of amusing when there was almost certainly never going to be any Stadia announcements there, and people were still disappointed.
Yeah.
Because Amazon paid a lot of money for Luna to be shown off at that event.
Yeah.
I guess people thought that should have been Google, which, like, yes, if Google was good at marketing, that probably should have been Stadia. But
yeah, and something that I've said, I definitely said it a couple of times. I just don't remember where or to which groups. But here's the thing: anyone that expected Stadia to be mentioned there was probably fantasizing in the first place, because those game awards were not put on by a group that has any association with Stadia. It was basically the Google Play group. I mean, hell, even the was that the name of? No, it was just the Game Awards.
Yeah, no, they're their own. Well, I say independent, but like they've got a bunch of like publisher CEOs on the board,
right? But yeah, the group that was associated with this was Google Play Games, and it not Stadia. Like, if you were expecting Stadia to be a part of this, frankly, like, they could have been. There's nothing stopping that from happening.
Yeah. But if I was PR at Google, I would have probably tried to at least ask the Game Awards how much money do they want for some Stadia promos. But
yeah,
I don't. Who knows what Google was doing. Before I move on, Diablo said, "Does XDA dark mode work?" LOL. We're supposed to get a full-on redesign early next year that I believe has dark mode. But yeah, we were supposed to get that a while ago, but it keeps getting delayed. So I think it's early next year. But anyway, so Google Play Game. Yeah, so the big announcement Google did was that a Google Play Games app is coming to Windows next year. And this is kind of interesting because this has been one thing that Google has just continuously ignored for like a decade. Like BlueStacks and all these other Android emulators for games on Windows have been around for forever. And it just seemed like Google wasn't really that interested in doing it, in supporting that. And now they are, for some reason. I know The Verge mentioned that, like, in the, again, that Google and Epic Games lawsuit, that gives us so many great details. That lawsuit did mention that Google was working on this as early as October of last year. So I don't know what the exact motivation was, but my my tinfoil hat theory is that Google saw how excited everyone was about Android apps, and specifically the Amazon App Store on Windows, and decided that they finally needed to have a piece of that action.
Yeah, I would agree with that take.
Yeah.
Which, and to some extent, I think this is one of those, or I guess the way I would describe it is maybe not even that so much as this was always on Google's to-do list, and at a certain point they decided, hey, we should do that, but not yet. And that decision just kept going and going and going until all of a sudden someone else is like, well, if you haven't done it yet, we're going to. At which point Google's like, no, whoa, careful now, we mean it, we're gonna do it, like, for real this time. And yeah, I think this is the whole, it's sort of like someone who says they're gonna come over and help you install a ceiling fan in your house, just not today. Right. And they keep putting it off until finally it's like, someone says, look, I got someone else to come and do that, like, they're coming tomorrow, and it's like, no, I'll do it today. I'll be there. Give me an hour, I'll be there. And it's like, yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah, and like, I know there's definitely elements of this that you could look at it that Google's been building up to. Like, the past couple years, they've done a lot of performance optimizations in the Android emulator in Android Studio that would be good for games. Like, they've got like the Android Studio on Windows, I believe 2 or 3 years ago, might be 2, switched to use Hyper-V, which is the native virtualizer in Windows. They have other virtualizers available on that specifically take advantage of, like, AMD CPUs and Intel CPUs. And you could look at Android apps on Chromebooks as a stepping stone to this, because that was where a lot of the changes to Android started, that tried to make apps and games work better with, like, keyboards and mice and resizing. So it's possible that, like, yeah, this could have been like a checklist item that they kept pushing off, but like, this checklist item had like 500 subtasks below it that had to be done first.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my hunch is still that, like, Google saw how excited people were, especially in the Android enthusiast space, when this came out and everyone started sideloading apps left, right, and center, and we're like, oh wait, I think people want this. But I don't know, like, BlueStacks has been making a ton of money for a long time, so it's kind of weird Google waited this long. But and what's also weird is that Google already confirmed that they're not using the Android layer in Windows 11 for this, that Microsoft has spent a lot of time and money making what seems to be pretty good. I haven't used it, but it looks pretty impressive, like possibly better than Android apps on Chrome OS. Good.
Doesn't seem like that's aiming too high, but sure.
No, but Google said that they've got their own infrastructure for this. They're going to be distributing the app themselves. There's no streaming involved. It's running locally, and it's going to work on Windows 10 and 11. I believe that Android app layer that Microsoft made is only in 11. I think maybe you can get it on 10, but it's not, like, supported. But yeah, like, they're building the whole emulator thing themselves, and specifically, I guess it's only for games, whereas BlueStacks and Microsoft's thing is intended for apps and games.
Yeah, I've actually really wondered about why that would be, because I could see if maybe this is a thing where it's just specifically about supporting oh man, why am I suddenly drawing a blank on I'm just gonna say the NDK. Suddenly I can't think of the name of the platform that targets, but whatever. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just a thing about that, or if the whole API is actually supported in there, but like they just don't want to run apps for some reason. Like why make it games only is what I'm getting at. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Daisy, hey, come on. She's getting angry. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because the Android apps on Chrome OS it's built for both of those. So yeah. Wow, Daisy's very upset. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe Google thinks that there aren't really any apps on Android that are not on Windows. That would be a selling point. Like if I'm thinking like, what's something on my phone that doesn't have like a good native app or a good web app? I don't know if I can really think of that many. Like when I have Android apps on a Chromebook, I would go back and forth because sometimes the Android version of a specific app
think you cut out again. Definitely cut out. Welcome back.
Hello. It's struggling. Yeah, like I was just thinking, like when I'm using a Chromebook, I don't really use like Android apps very much. Like really the only ones I would use on a Chromebook were like Spotify, because the Spotify web app is kind of annoying, but that's better now, so I probably wouldn't even use that. I'd use like Slack, but that's only because notifications in the web app don't run in the background. Like there's just not a lot of apps on Android that aren't on Windows. And I guess the motivation here is like a lot of the games on Android are also on Windows, but Google wants their payment processor and everything to be on to Windows too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess my point is, regardless of everything else, why exclude apps? They exist. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal to also support them. So, like, is there a technological reason, or is this just like a marketing issue? They've just decided they only want to market it as a games thing. That's what stands out as odd to me. I mean, this was announced during a gaming oriented event, so I could kind of see why, in some sense, it would make it would be logical for them to focus on games, but
well,
and the freeze. Okay.
If they make it just for games, then they don't really have to worry about stuff like copying files back and forth from a virtualized environment. They don't have to worry about window management. It can just be like BlueStacks, where you open the app and it's like a widescreen-ish window, and the game just takes up the whole of that window, and that's it.
Okay, so. I get that argument. Moving around files could be a bit of an issue here and there. I just think about all the apps that I've used that would be kind of nice to actually just have on a desktop in some capacity. Like, hell, this is part of the reason I wanted to get an M1 Mac, is now I can actually get it. Not all, but some of the apps that are on the App Store. There is some incentive to go for to go for things that exist only in app form, even if it's only because the apps maybe just get better support in some cases, or maybe it's a company that thinks apps are all that matter. Hint, hint, Instagram.
Yeah, that's true. I will say one that I've really wanted to get working at. There's a couple of projects right now to sort of run Android apps on top of desktop Linux, because you can just share the same kernel and stuff when you do that. And I have tried using that stuff to just get Lightroom working, because Adobe still won't make Lightroom for Linux, but Lightroom for Android is pretty close to the new desktop app at this point. So
and the drop.
Diablo said, do you think Microsoft probably blocked Google? No, I don't. Microsoft can't really do that. Like, Google said they're distributing them. Like, the worst Microsoft could do is kick them off their app store, but I don't even. Google said they're not even putting it there in the first place.
And even if they were, like, this is one of those things where, honestly, I think it would be worse for Microsoft to try to block Google than to actually take any. Like, why take the action? It doesn't hurt Microsoft in any appreciable way if Google is doing this. Unless Microsoft is getting some really huge kickback from Amazon, which is possible. We don't know. But when all is said and done, I kind of have a feeling that Microsoft is they're in a good position if both Amazon and Google are fighting for attention.
Yeah, like, I think Microsoft could definitely tell Google to go away if they wanted to hook into the Android subsystem that Microsoft made, but Google isn't doing that. So there's not really any conflict there. Again, like, I expect this will just be like a easier to use version of the Android Studio emulator.
Yeah.
Like a nicer front end for that. Because again, like, Google's already done like all the work needed to make Android run really well on a desktop, short of like doing what they did on Chrome OS, where it hooks more directly into the underlying system, which it doesn't seem like they're doing here.
Yeah.
Diablo said, Amazon messed up with their tablets for the Amazon store. How do they expect to support Windows? I mean, the Amazon App Store, it's firmly okay, and like most of the big apps are there. It's really just missing Google stuff, because Google obviously isn't publishing YouTube and Google Docs and Drive on the Amazon App Store. Like I was doing a lot of stuff with Fire OS like last year and I really didn't notice a whole lot of apps missing. Like, I still use Skype for family communication. Skype's on there. Microsoft has had all their apps on the Amazon App Store for a while. Like, actually, the latest Fire HD10, I believe, was like kind of marketed as a productivity tablet because Microsoft was supporting the Office apps on the App Store in Fire OS. So, like, it's okay. As much as it pains me to compliment Amazon on anything, the Amazon App Store is fine. And again, like with the Android subsystem, like, people have already found ways to sideload Play services, so you can get the Google stuff if you really want to, and still get all the benefits that Microsoft did to get Android apps running well.
Yeah, I don't know. I just look at this and it screams to me that it's still only going to be a half measure. I don't know. Something just doesn't feel like it's going to be there.
Yeah, my main issue with this Google announcement is just that there's really nothing on my phone in terms of games. that I want on my computer. Because really the only mobile games I play are like they're all stuff that have been on computers for forever. Like I have Minecraft on my phone, I have Civilization, I have, you know, sometimes I play RuneScape on there. Like, and besides the ports that come from the desktop, there's really just like all the pay to win mobile games, and a lot of those are actually already on the Windows Store in the first place.
It's funny. I was just gonna bring that up, and I can think of two that definitely are not available for PC.
I gotta check my door. You can keep
Okay.
talking.
There are definitely two not available for PC that happen to have pretty large followings, and yeah, there's a big group of streamers. Like very specifically, that's kind of the thing. They have big streaming audiences that they're really into both of them. So I think there's a group that wants this. The streamers already are basically just always using BlueStacks. So, you know, it's not like this is really bringing anything new that didn't already exist. But, you know, it kind of tracks that there are people out there that want this, and they probably would be happy with the idea of using an emulator that wasn't trying to monetize.
Yeah, there's definitely a market, or BlueStacks wouldn't be making millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
Like I know there's probably some edge cases I'm not thinking of where I'd pick something like this, but you know, just for me personally, like I don't really play a whole lot of mobile games, so something that takes mobile games and put them on my computer doesn't super appeal to me. But you know, obviously this is a thing that people want to do. And yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, it's just weird. It's weird that Google has ignored this market for so long, and now they're making a big splash. Because again, BlueStacks has been around for, I think, almost a decade. And you know, ever since Android's been around, like Android's always been based on Linux, so there's been a ton of like the Android x86 project has been around for a really long time, and they port Android to run on Windows, or not Windows, on PCs. You can always run those in virtual machines. There's the Android Studio that you can use even if you're not making apps. You can just run the Studio standalone, or run the emulator standalone. So
yeah, though there's a lot you're not able to do with that too.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just weird that, you know, like I don't really care for this, but like I know there's a lot of people who do, and this market has existed without Google really caring about it for such a long time, and now they suddenly do. So
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. And also I'm just generally not like super excited about software running on form factors and operating systems they weren't designed to do. Like that's why I really don't enjoy using Chrome OS that much, because a lot of the stuff I want to do is either running in a Linux VM or an Android VM. And most Android apps, or not most, but a lot of Android apps and games still don't.
Oh, the cutout again. But yeah,
My food did just get here, so I'll go after this. But yeah,
yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I agree. There's, when things are running outside of their space, they typically don't run well.
yeah.
There
It's
can be
like-
exceptions, but
Yeah, it's like me getting excited about like a car boat. Like, oh cool, you have a car that's a bad car and a boat that's a bad boat. Like, it's not good.
yeah, that's
And also this just reinforces the thought that keeps me awake at night sometimes, that in the future all software will just be its own Linux virtual machine, and we're ever so slowly getting to that point.
yeah.
Yeah. Diablo said, my Pixel Slate is lovely. I'm using the apps I don't want installed on my phone on it, like the Hue app and Bond app. Yeah, I mean, I've got my Tab S6 over here that, despite there not really being that many Android apps optimized for tablets still, I like it. It's a nice thing to watch movies on, and sometimes I'll work from it if I really hate myself one day. I'll try to get WordPress done.
I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. That willful, desperate need to punish yourself just makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I have done it sometimes where, like, I know.
And the drop. You're back.
I wasn't. I think a couple times ago when I went to my mom's house, I wasn't expecting to have to do work, and I only brought my tablets. I did some there, and that was painful. But Samsung did add something cool in the last One UI update for this, where Android apps that lock to portrait don't just rotate the entire tablet screen anymore. They're just kind of like boxed in, which is, it looks terrible, but this is huge usability improvement.
I can imagine.
Yeah, like, it never. I know this happened with iPads a lot too, where it just like you'd be doing something in a tablet app and then switch to an app and you forget it's one of those ones that like really wants to be a phone app, and just especially when you have like it in landscape with the keyboard open and then suddenly you have to like tilt your head or take the keyboard off to do something. So that's nice. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, that's a pretty big improvement.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be in Android 12L as well. So I think everyone's supposed to get it soon. But yeah. So my food's here, so I'm gonna go now.
All right, man. Well, was good having you on, and again, we will be seeing you live, assuming your internet connection ever functions again. We will be seeing you live on December 18th for Techathon. That will be 6:30 p.m. Eastern, or 6. I forget now.
Saturday is 6 p.m. Eastern to midnight, and then Saturday is noon Eastern to 6 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes. For Saturday, we're there for your dinner. For Sunday, we're there for your lunch at best.
Yes.
And for me, it's 3 hours earlier in the day because West Coast is best coast.
No.
East Coast
Sorry,
is
you're
least
wrong.
coast.
Okay, bye.
Later, dude. Okay. Well, we'll close that. So, yeah. Getting this windowing situation situated. So, yeah. No, I don't really have much more to add on that particular topic. Let's see. Oh, I had 2 things open for this. Where's the other window? Huh. Definitely had that one open too. Not sure what happened to it. Okay, anyway, so I was going to make a clever transition about Google being waiting on things and not doing projects as they should, but screw it. Wear OS 3. Wow, my brain is just like half gone at the moment. I don't know why. But yeah, we'll just do the awkward transition into Wear OS 3. The emulator that has, or emulator image that has recently come out, it is being combed over, and it has, wait, why are we, oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the various things broken on AP that shouldn't be. And yeah, why huge gap? No idea. Why Twitter embeds don't work? No clue. Anyway, so yeah, people have been combing through the emulators, and basically Wear OS 3, like, people are seeing what it looks like, and in short, it looks kind of like what you expect. It's not that spectacular. It's not that different. I think it does look a little better. I will give it that. I don't think it's bad. I think this is an improvement. But yeah, for the most part, the changes that are coming don't look all that different. I feel like we've already been seeing this design language in a lot of Wear apps. So this isn't really going to be a big revolutionary visual change. It's hopefully going to be at least a more notable functional change. And I believe we still haven't really seen what the new like main screens are going to be like. And by that I mean like the Google Feed tile, or well, it's not a tile, but whatever it is, the thing that you swipe from left to right for. I think notifications are probably going to be changed. We may see changes to the window shade. There's probably several things we're going to see changes in, but they're maybe not as obvious right now, which kind of makes it a little harder to judge, but it is what it is. Also on that note, 9 to 5 went digging around and they found a video which shows off several of the upcoming watch faces. And as I was looking at these, I couldn't help but think, oh, and by the way, thanks to Austin for linking that. But yeah, as I was looking at these, all I thought is, wow, they look a lot like other things that we've seen, except there's a material, or the new Material U style of widget. There are some of those. Like, that's it. I'm not seeing a whole lot, and I still don't recognize if there's anything that resembles Material U coloring. Like, is it just gonna be this watch face design that is significant here, or does it actually do the color effect that Material U is actually known for? That's the part I'm still left questioning, and I kind of have a feeling that it's just the design look, not the effect. So the screen of the watch has to support that fancy seconds hand? I don't know. I mean, I assume to some extent it probably does, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still not really into the Material U look. The fat hour hand just looks weird to me. I don't know. I can't explain it. I just don't like that style. Most of the rest of it I'm kind of okay with. But the watch hands as they've been shown in this, I don't like them. So, I don't know. Everybody's got their own taste and things, so, you know, it's all subjective. But I mean, I do kind of like this one. I think this actually looks pretty good for a fitness oriented thing. I kind of dig the landscape thing. I don't like it enough to use it, but I get what they're going for with it. And then even these, like these watch faces, I don't like the stacked number orientation. To me, I've just never liked that. I feel like that's harder to read and less pleasant. But, you know, again, each to their own. But at least the coloring and style works. Really, the only one I find kind of offensive to me is, well, are these where the hour hand is just gargantuan compared to the other hands. David, you said you like the look. And with on screen all the time, the battery better be good or screen really optimized to not use so much. Yeah, honestly, like that's what made the Fossil Gen 6 so hard for me to review. And I actually have to do an update to that review in the next few days. And I just keep looking at it like I don't have anything new to say because I don't want to use it. Like that's what it keeps coming down to. I honestly just don't want to use the watch because the battery life on that thing is just awful. I don't want to sit down and spend more time with a watch that I just don't like because it's unpleasant to use. Yeah, oof, exactly. It's hard to say too much about it. Like it's one issue to be turned off by, but it's kind of, in my opinion, a fairly big issue. So yeah, for the most part, the watch is, I mean, I have used it, I have worn it since, but yeah, it spends a lot of time on the charger because I just don't feel compelled to pick it up and use it when I know I'm going to have to throw it back on the charger in like not 12 hours, but not much more than 12 hours, which sucks. Let's see. David changes colors, so maybe Material U is involved. So this is what I brought up. I don't remember if it was last week or maybe during a game stream, but I still don't understand how Material U factors in with the watch. Where is it getting the colors from? Is it like paired to the phone and it's pulling the colors from the phone? Because I would believe that it would make sense, but I'm curious. What is the thing that initiates a color change on the watch? Because if it's not that, there's not a lot left. And I still don't know that I would want my watch matching like the home screen of my phone. I get why that would be neat in some cases, but I'm also thinking about scenarios where it might choose dark colors, and I don't know that that's something I really want the watch to be doing. So, and I don't know, there's just a lot to me that makes me wonder. It's not even that hard of a topic. Like, it totally makes sense that it would grab from the phone, but I don't think I like that as a solution. So if nothing else, I kind of hope that can be turned off. People should just be able to pick what highlight color they like. Diablo, I'm hoping the Wear app is sharing. That would be nice, but then maybe standalone color picker on watch would be more boring, but it works. Yeah, I honestly, there are too many scenarios where I think people benefit by being able to control that color, because the watch is something you really, really need to have color control over. Wonder if it's going to fall under the Pixel or Fitbit brand. I would just about bet money it's going to fall under the Pixel brand, because at this point they could certainly push Fitbit watches. I think they will be doing that too. Honestly, I think they'll run the two brands side by side, but I think there will be a Pixel watch, like straightforward, plain and simple. There will be a Pixel watch. The brand might be slightly different, but it's going to be somehow under the Pixel brand, and it's going to be obviously it'll still have fitness oriented stuff, but I think the focus is going to be on users and features and functionality, not necessarily total fitness like Fitbits are supposed to be. I really hope they don't do Google Fitbit Pixel or Google Pixel Fitbit or any rolling variant of this. I hope that doesn't happen. Oh, the stretch. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some. some merged branding at some point, though. I saw the discussion Discord earlier, and I do actually agree. I think there's a highly credible likelihood that they're going to end up pushing a what are the words? There are words. I have them. They're not here right now. I do think they're going to end up merging Google Fit and Fitbit. I think that conversation was dead on, because Fit at this point, it is so obviously a dead product. It's not getting tons of attention. Obviously, it's not fully abandoned. It's not completely like forgotten, but it is not getting the attention that it would need in order to be sustainable. And no one's interested in it anymore. And if, like, in order to make a Pixel Watch successful, they really have to have the service that goes along with it. And they don't have that right now. That's kind of a bad situation to be in. So, yeah, my hunch is somewhere between now and the launch of the Pixel Watch, or coming along with the Pixel Watch more likely, they will announce not necessarily new service, but I think either a merger of Fit and Fitbit, or maybe it'll be, I don't know, it could be some other approach, but I think you guys are dead on. It's going to be basically the end of Fit and the start of something else. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to consider there, and I don't know that we're gonna. I don't know what that story's gonna look like, but it does make me curious. Okay. Let's see. So, Diablo, Chromecast with Google TV made by Google doesn't make you optimistic. Yeah, that's fair enough. Austin, I think it's probably a red flag that the Google Fit app didn't get a Material You makeover. I could not agree with that. I don't think you can make that. I don't think that leap is fair yet. I mean, we really don't know, but Material You is one of those things. It comes to the apps. I don't know. It has a way of happening only for the mainstream apps, and then eventually trickles down to everything else. I don't know how well anyone remembers when Material originally rolled out, but there were apps that didn't get a Material style update for, I think it was at least a year and a half, may have been 2 years. I mean, there are still apps, frankly, I would argue, that didn't really get an update. I know it's cheating to bring up the most grossly obvious examples, but I mean, you could point very, very easily to like YouTube Studio. No one cares about the look of YouTube Studio, but it is something that gets attention. You could look at what else is there. I know Gmail got an update pretty quickly. I believe the Keep app got an update pretty quickly. It's definitely cheating to say YouTube didn't, because YouTube in general just doesn't do that. What was another one of them? All I've got running through my head are all the apps that did get updates right away. But yeah, there were a bunch. Just, I remember covering a lot of this stuff, and it was, half of the updates I remember writing, it was, we're still waiting on a Material update, but in the meantime, here's what actually changed in this app. Like, I wrote a ton of those. And in part because there was some level of harassment to make sure to always mention material, even if there was no material, which was awkward. But yeah, there's a lot of this stuff just doesn't change that quickly. And when Fit most likely doesn't have, I don't think there's an active development team on Fit right now, at least not the app. And as such, I'm not surprised that they don't have a Material U redesign happening right away. And for what it's worth, it could also take literally a day or two. And some developer who's reasonably fast at this could probably sit down, write those updated widgets, another day to tweak the app to look right, and it could possibly roll out that fast. You never know, but that would actually kind of track with how quickly I've heard it can happen for apps. The Google Home app is so bad. Yes, it is. But yeah, that's not going anywhere. Sadly, that's not going anywhere. So yeah, honestly, I wouldn't use any of that as a pattern. Just because apps don't necessarily get their updates right away doesn't really equate to much. Let's see. Google Home, Play Games, Play Books, Find My Device, Google TV, Google Pay, Google News, and Google Voice still haven't gotten Material U. It's funny because as you list those, I wasn't sure how that sentence was going to end, but part of me was expecting that to be the list of apps that didn't get Material updates for a very, very long time. I think Playbooks was the exception. I think Playbooks may have gotten its Material update pretty quickly, but I remember the Home app definitely didn't. It lagged way behind. Google Pay, I'm pretty sure, also lagged way behind. Google TV app, I think that's a bit of an exception anyway. It's always had a weird history. Google News, I don't remember when that got an update, but to be fair, the Google News app has really, really dropped in attention. And I'm also not sure that that's going to get Material U. Because think about it this way. Google News is inherently a very information dense app. And Material U is like anti information density. So I'm not sure that one's going to happen. I mean, it'll happen, but I think that's going to be sort of like the YouTube situation where they're going to come out with an app and it is going to look not like the rest. It'll incorporate a little bit of Material U, but it's going to be a really, really long time until it looks anything similar, and I think they're just going to run out the clock. Google Pay is like lost too. I don't like the Pay app. Honestly, I find the interface, man, I'm about to sound old, but I find the interface confusing. It's not that complicated of an interface, but instinctively I feel like I know where to tap to get to things, and it's not there. Hey Devin, how's it going, man? It has been a while, man. Honestly, like I saw you. Obviously, we've talked a little bit in Discord recently, and I kind of thought for a bit that you had you were just going to be a Discord chatter. But good to have you back, man. How you been? Devin, how do you get a username instead of real name? You go into your YouTube channel settings. Wait, is that still the way to do it? It's occurring to me that may not be true anymore. But the way... Actually, okay, I know other people have done this, so you guys might actually have to tell me. But the way I remember doing it, or the way I thought it had to be done, is you go into your YouTube channel settings and actually change the name of your channel. But isn't there now a setting you can use to have it show a different name, which I think then is just your Google account name. So you get the choice between either your Google account name or a YouTube channel name. Let's see. I'm quickly looking at I'm looking through stupid things flying in front of my face. All right, I'm combing through settings right now, looking to see if I can find anything. Oops. And everything I hate. Ugh. Okay, I will make a rant about this in just a second, but Devin, you don't even care. And yes, okay, by the way, I did remember the name, just it wasn't coming to mind in this moment, but yes, Marina Kano. So yeah, cheers. Good to have you back though. Let's see. Carson, yeah, they finally let you separate the Google account and YouTube channel names this year. Just wanted to make sure yeah. Beside him, just open Google Home app and signed in and set it up. Oh, you just opened. Sorry, I thought that was about the channel name stuff. Seriously, that is going to bother me though. Where the hell is that? Channel status and features, maybe? Yeah, I think what you just have to do... Well, wait, no. Oh, that's going to bother me, dude. Now I want to figure it out, but... Okay, really quick though, I do have another random dumb complaint to make, but... And I'll even share this on the screen. Okay, so right now I've got this channel settings open. I'm just in a random thing. Over here on the left side, purchases and memberships. Now, if you click between some of these different things, like everything still stays in its appropriate windows, or it looks normal. You click on purchases and memberships. Oh, hey, no, we're just going to send you to a completely different screen that is now out of settings. This is the worst user interface type of crap. This is stuff that should be criminalized. I hate this. You can hit back and get back to where you're supposed to be, but you know, if you're just trying to click through these things on the side, you end up you hit this one that's in the middle and it just sends you off into a random no man's land. Why? There's no reason. I hate that so freaking much. Okay, Morena Kano, awesome. You figured it out. Let's see. YouTube Studios seemed like the area you had to go. Settings are the worst. No UX test. Yeah. No, YouTube, man, I've written so many posts about YouTube's terrible interface issues. I swear that was almost my bread and butter as a teardown guy. Like, I could write so many posts about things that YouTube needed to do right, and that could fill any post I had about YouTube. If YouTube did, this sounds terrible, but it's half true. If YouTube did like the smallest of updates, had nothing of substance to it, if I needed to ever make an article longer, I could just rant about things that YouTube was doing terribly, and it really was always contextually fair. Like, it just made sense. Let's see. Okay, I see in RambleCast, Diablo linked the watch. Was this all before I even started talking about the watch? Also linked our post, I think, about Okay, yeah. So, okay. The hero image isn't really relevant to that. I love when that happens. Okay, so you do have to go into Studio in order to change the name, which is kind of awkward, but kind of makes sense. So yeah. Oh, it's under, you click profile icon, your channel, customize channel, basic info, channel name and description, change your name under there. You gotta love how it's such a simple process. You don't you don't have to click a lot. Only, is that what, seven things? Let's see. So if I were to go, okay, it's not under there. Oops. So your channel, customize channel. Oh yeah, that's right. So yep, that drops you into here, and let's see. Hopefully I'm not blowing any secrets as I do this. Wait, customize channel basic info. Am I missing something? I don't see a basic info here. I would have thought it'd be under customization, but oh, there it is. And oh yeah, and then click the pin tool there. Yeah, it should not be that complicated. It shouldn't be that complicated to change the name of a channel or to change how you show up. I still think people should be able to set their own names. Just like it as a it makes sense to have your channel and your, like, the name that you comment with. These two things should be kind of distinct. I can kind of understand, like, maybe it should show that someone's commenting under two different names, like it is a channel that is commenting under another name, or maybe it should be an option. I don't know. I can think of different scenarios for different people. Some people want to be able to comment as their own channel. Some people want to comment separately. Arguably, you could just do this with two completely separate accounts. That's actually the better choice in most cases, but I don't know. So it goes. Oh, you know what? While I'm here, though, I should probably make a little change. Because those times haven't been true for a while. So, hooray. Hooray. We've made the channel name and description a little bit more accurate today. Good for us. Anyway, so let's see. Nice free TV show you got there. Yep. Hey, gotta love The Archer. Honestly, I don't remember. I don't even know what that was about. I don't remember, quote, buying it. But hey, you know, who's gonna say no to Archer? Let's see. Carson, you called it. We were both thinking the same thing. Maybe if it dropped down in the chat that lets you choose to appear as your name, nickname, channel, etc. Yes, that actually would have been the best choice. Or, honestly, if I was going to put it somewhere, it probably would have been here. Oh, I already switched away. I would have put it here into this drop down here. Instead of switch account, I would put in, or, well, in addition to switch account or something like that, I would put in a, you know, pick I guess identity or something, which would give you a choice between, like, your Google account name, your YouTube channel name if you really have one, and like a name to use as a commenter. that would kind of make the most sense. But yeah, I don't know. Also, I know that this is dumb, but small credit to them for not putting your email address in plain view, because they know people are probably going to be sharing this screen from time to time or recording this screen, and nobody wants to have their name or email address shown right there in plain view. Diablo bring up Microsoft Teams to update the 911 situation. Yeah, we can do a side trip to this. I don't have a lot to say on this other than, honestly, I don't like how the disclosure happened. Obviously this made a bunch of news, and a lot of sites covered the fact that there was a 911 call that couldn't go through on a Pixel. The circumstances of which did get narrowed down reasonably quickly. However, there was then a subsequent deep dive into how this bug occurred. And that came out before there were any updates out to fix it. That kind of didn't sit right with me. I understand why it happens, and I'm more than aware of the argument about why it was supposed to be okay. I don't entirely agree, because I think there are people who they're maybe not motivated enough to try to figure things out for themselves in very complicated ways, but once they have a relatively close to end result roadmap, what worries me is that there are people out there who definitely would try to exploit it and cause something like this to happen. So yeah. That being said, hey, at least Microsoft has fixed this bug. There is also either an update to I know Google has an update already written for Android. I know it has been sent out to several OEMs. I'm not sure if the patches have actually gone out to fix this yet for any devices. But if they're not out yet, they should be fairly soon for practically everything that's still currently supported. Let's see. Miranda Kano, hate to create it Facebook, but if you have a Facebook page, when you're commenting, you can click on your name and change who you're commenting as. Honestly, yeah, you're right. Though technically that doesn't exactly give you like your alias. Well, like, you're either commenting by your account name or you're commenting by the name of whatever, well, not necessarily business page, but whatever page you also happen to represent. So the kind of the difference here is with YouTube, where we're kind of talking about, it would be ideal if they also had an alias, a nickname that is just your sole personality, but not necessarily your real name. So yeah, I feel like that's a little bit of a difference. Strictly speaking, with YouTube, you kind of can do that. You're just switching accounts, formally switching accounts, whereas in Facebook, I think you just get to just mark yourself as, I'm responding as such and such. I don't recall. I am an Android police manager on Facebook, but I do not use it ever. I've actually gone out of my way to turn off as much of it as possible because I hate getting the notifications. For something like 9 months, I actually had to turn off Facebook notifications because every time somebody commented on an Android police article, I would get spammed on every phone. And those comments were coming in obviously like every few minutes. Well, maybe not that frequently, but it was enough. Really, really a massive problem. And Facebook had redesigned a bunch of their menus, so the option to turn all this stuff off didn't exist. So I actually had to kill my notifications in order to get there. To this day, still pretty unhappy about that. Let's see. Okay, quickly reading comments. Safe boot is always something to try when troubleshooting. It is indeed. They're more focused on how many plots they have in their graveyard. Oof. Which, hey, technically Google did add something to that list this last week. They finally killed after 20 years of service. Was it 20 years? They finally killed the Google toolbar. Not sure if anyone heard about that or really even cared, but yeah, and we'll go to ours because Rod had to have written that one. But yes, the good old infamous Google toolbar that no one has used in years. I feel I'm sure somewhere out there is like that last computer running Windows 95 and someone is like, no, I need my Google toolbar. It's everything for me. I hope there's no one like that, but you never know. Anyway, the good old days of the Google toolbar are over. I honestly wonder, did they have like an intern who would occasionally load this thing up in the IDE and just double check that it was still working? Anyway, so yes, this technically has joined the Google graveyard, and after this long, it almost seems unfair to even count this in the graveyard. This is like the ghost that just kept haunting the place. Diablo, you think Google said they'll patch by January? Okay, that makes sense. Definitely has to be one person, Cody. Now I'm not sure what that's in response to, but yeah. So yeah, I don't have anything else to really say on this. It's just such an easy story to kind of make fun of. Sorry, I'm quickly closing tabs here too. Oh, okay. Did I watch the Springboard documentary from The Verge? No, I have not heard about this. Verge Springboard. The history of the first real smartphone is out now. Oh, what? Huh? Oh. Huh. Okay. What, man, I saw Springboard and my first thought is, are they seriously doing a documentary about the launcher on iPhones? Because for anyone who doesn't know, that's called Springboard. And okay, that makes sense. It's about the handspring. Okay, so I'll take a look at that later. That is actually kind of interesting. Every once in a while, The Verge gets to do these just crazy, in-depth, old-school things. I think I've actually seen these in person, too. I kind of remember this. Not super well, but I do remember seeing... I don't remember seeing this transparent look, but I do remember, obviously, the writing area. I remember the ugliness of that screen. I remember... God, I remember that handspring logo. I wish I didn't. I never had one of these though, so let's see. Oh, Diablo, yeah. One person has to be in charge of the toolbar. And whoops, forgot the plug. No kidding. Anyway. Oh, they're doing one for the Palm Pre too. That feels like it's going to be a darker story. Anytime there's a topic of the Palm Pre, things always just automatically go so dark. But they always end with the light note of, hey, by the way, like half the people that worked on this ended up at Google and they made Android look good. Let's see. Morena Cano said, just randomly stumbled onto that in my account, trying to look through my email to find any price increase notice. Wait, what is this? Does anyone here use Google Workspace? I got automatically transitioned from G Suite and I see they're raising the prices. Oh, okay. So I'm on a G Suite account for AP, but I don't pay for it. So I didn't notice this. No. That is some steep price increase. What are they thinking? So from December through February, it's going to be $6. I wonder if is that like a grandfathered price that they're going to kill or something? Was it higher than this? But then until the end of 2022, it will be $12.60 per month, and then basically at the end of 2022, it jumps to $18 per month. Yeah, that's too high. You got to offer a hell of a lot more than you do to make that work. Carson, don't pay for Workspace, but do remember them saying there was going to be a price increase a while back. I don't understand this. Like, this honestly is too expensive for what they're offering, I think. Microsoft also doing price increases. I wonder if there's some chance where both companies were like, hey, we're both competing on this. We're not making any money. Can we both just raise our prices and be done with it? Because some part of me does think Google wouldn't raise its prices unless, well, actually, maybe not Google. Google might raise their prices completely in a vacuum. But Microsoft, I feel like they wouldn't raise their prices unless they knew Google was going to do it too. Austin, yeah, you use Workspaces too. The only difference is you get limited storage now. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've never had to pay for it myself, so, and not that we've gotten much use out of it. Honestly, also, for a very long time, Android Police was on like the really, really old grandfather G Suite accounts, not the newer versions. And by newer, I mean like still really old, but we were on the old version of G Suite, and as a result, like, they didn't roll out Google Meet to us when all other G Suite accounts had it. Like, there was that very small portion that had the old version of G Suite. We were on that forever, and a bunch of people were sitting around kind of doing the whole, hey, how are we going to cover a thing if Google isn't going to roll it out to us? At which point, I think at one point Artem broke down and migrated us to the new G Suite, or maybe it was that we eventually, maybe somebody signed up for it, and I think after that all of us waited to get it later. That sounds vaguely familiar. Anyway, let's see. Austin, yeah, you use oh, sorry, read that one. Oh man, I'm watching two different chat rooms, and now I'm splitting attention. Carson, don't pay for Workspace, but do remember them saying there was a price increase. Google's competitor to Microsoft Office is being rebranded as Workspace and getting new pricing tiers. Okay, so when is this supposed to happen? Or is it just those dates that were listed in the pricing increase? Basic and business versions of G Suite, which had cost $6 and $12 per user per month, will remain available as business starter and business standard plans for customers with 300 or fewer seats. A new business plus option with greater security features will cost $18 per user per month. There's also a new essentials tier for teams and departments. So in other words, they're going to have 4 tiers. What always gets me, as companies grow larger, at a certain point they always cross these thresholds where suddenly they're told, hey, you have too many people, we're now going to charge you more per person. And to some extent, I'm kind of I'm almost okay with that, just because most of the time when a company gets large enough, they can afford it. But in another sense, I kind of hate it because, man, that just smells of unfairness. It's sort of it's almost predatory, but not quite. I don't know. It's weird. Hey, spam bot. Of course. Unwanted commercial content or spam. And what is the more security? I can't begin to guess, but I have a funny feeling it's probably something along the lines of like probably a toned down version of, why can't I think of the name of it? That extra authentication step that they now have where you use a key. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, I have a feeling it's probably some of those features, just minus the key. Or maybe it's full support for the key. I don't know. Let's see. All right, and Diablo dropped in the link for Microsoft to try to push business customers to longer term subscriptions via price increases. Yeah, which also practice I'm not a fan of, but hey, it is what it is. I get why they do it. So earlier this fall, Microsoft officials said the NCE per seat model would be expanding to include Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, Windows 365, and damn it, I have a friend who's in town just tonight. Only let me know this morning, and she's now calling me. And she technically knows I do these streams, but I don't think she's super aware of when I do them. I might text her back in a minute, but anyway, NC will be available to partners in January 2022 and phased in over time through mid-2022. To try to get customers to commit to longer-term contracts, Microsoft will enable customers to lock in pricing for 3 years if they agree to a 36-month subscription, which can be billed monthly, annually, or upfront, according to information published by Microsoft partner Crayon. I feel like that's not a great company name, but hey, whatever. Once a customer places an order, they can cancel or reduce it within the first 72 hours. After that, the partner will have to keep paying until the renewal date. Okay, guys. At least do kind of a proration thing. Anyway. Good week to have a short stream, not much news. I'm actually not done with topics. I mean, I'm kind of close, but and if anyone has stuff to add, feel free, because I wouldn't be surprised if there's more. But yeah, this week actually not totally dry on topics. Crayon, is that the coloring stuff? No, it's a writing utensil that certain politicians rely on. And there's the low key dig. Let's see. They put Maria Nakano on the Google Workspace's Business Plus. All right. Oh, hey, comparison pricing. Awesome. Thank you, Carson. Okay, so Business Plus, custom and secure business email plus e-discovery retention. Do we have, what is e-discovery? Electronic discovery, sometimes known as e-discovery. E-discovery is electronic aspect of identifying, collecting, and producing electronically stored information in response to a request for production in a lawsuit or investigation. Okay. I wonder, okay, well, we'll try this. Google e-discovery. If this is the same thing, that's, oh my. What is e-discovery Google? Search, hold, and export data of interest. I think I get why this is a thing. So, Vault is an information governance and e-discovery tool for Google Workspace. With Vault, you can retain, hold, search, and export users' Google Workspace data. You can use Vault for the following data. Blah, blah, blah. It's basically everything. Vault is included in your edition. All users in your organization are automatically assigned a Vault license. Information governance, retain and delete data. Keep data for as long as you need it. If your organization is required to preserve data, yep, this is exactly it. For a set time, you can configure Vault to retain it. Data remains available to Vault even when users delete it and empty their trash. Remove data when you no longer need it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh, if your organization is required to delete data, or delete sensitive data after a set time, you can configure Vault to remove it from user accounts and start purging it from all Google systems. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, this is for legal issues wherein if a company gets sued, they basically have a guaranteed or not guaranteed paper trail on messages that were sent or received. This is all used in litigation where if you basically need to prove that a company did something illegal or didn't do something illegal, I mean, it works both ways, then yeah, Google is formally committing to making sure of that for you. Because companies that have to do this all on their own have in the past already been accused of intentionally screwing up their data records. But if you have a third party like Google doing it for you, you're pretty safe. That makes sense. That's why they're talking up the security aspect. Let's see. You can also have up to 250 participants in video meetings. Yes, because that's a good idea. And attendance tracking. That makes sense. 5 terabytes cloud storage per user. Yeah, that's a lot. Enhanced security and management controls, including Vault and advanced endpoint management, which is basically e-discovery and retention stuff. Standard support. Yeah, nothing too different there. And it looks like enterprise, they're adding some stuff, but it wouldn't make much sense for most people. Let's see. David Lawman, did I talk about Log4j? Keep seeing it online. I haven't, I've seen things about it, but honestly, I didn't read as close into that as I should have. What I do know is there's a remote code execution exploit. It has actually been seen in the wild, or I believe, right? Now even as I say that, I'm not as confident as I should be. In the wild. Yep, okay. It is in the wild. Which pretty critical issue. Anytime you have something like this, especially with a library that gets used so widely, it's ridiculous. And if I read correctly, and I'm not sure on this, but I swear I read that they patched Log4j, and in the patch that came out, there was literally a 0-day proof of concept that the patched version was still vulnerable. Let's see. Okay, I don't want to go looking too far for it, but yeah. The thing is, Log4j it's one of those libraries that gets used by basically everybody. It's sort of like if you went and asked regular people, do you have, well, yeah, if you went around and just asked regular people, do you have Facebook installed on your phone? The number of people who are going to say yes, it's that sort of thing. But if you go ask Java developers, do you have Log4j in your applications? That's kind of the level of odds you're going to hear yeses, or the same percentage, the same ratio of people, the same number of Java developers probably use Log4j, which, not great. That's really not great. Diablo, this would have been easier for Meadows to use. Nice. And I know you're talking about the the Vault e-discovery stuff. But let's be honest, you could have also been talking about the crayon. Sorry. There's no way not to take a swipe at that. For those that don't know, the literal 5-second rundown, Trump's former chief of staff has been recommended for a contempt of Congress charge, and it's going to be sent off to the DOJ to determine if they can to make a decision on pressing forward with charging him, which likely means he's probably going to get in a little trouble. Sadly, probably not enough, but hey. And it's all because he's refusing to testify. That was longer than 5 seconds, but I'm not going to spend any time on that one. Let's see. So, Morena Kano, you can switch to Business Plus, stay where you were. You guess they assumed they wanted the other features and were moving up to that plan, stepping up the price across a year. Thanks, guys. Glad I asked. No, that's what we do. We dig into it. But no, that is weird. I wonder why they automatically upgraded you. Because you'd think that they would have just come right, especially on a timeline. I think that's actually the weirdest part. Because if they were upgrading you, you'd think that they would have just bumped from, like on a specific day or something, it would have just bumped straight from $6 to $18. I kind of don't understand why there's this staged rollout of pricing if you're getting upgraded, unless that's meant as kind of like a gradual perk of some kind, like, hey, we're not going to charge you too much, we just want you to have this option to try it out or something. I don't know. That feels odd. Oh, Diablo, I just saw. Interesting. And fire all 250 on the call. Man, you have the fire references today. And not fire as in from the job, though that would be appropriate here too, but just, man, you're hitting hard. The deep cuts. Oh, Google Fi's year-end gift for subscribers is a $10 Play Store credit. Hey, legit, I would use this. Let's see, can I... Oh yeah, hey, look at that. I can go redeem my credit right now. Yep, that's the right account. Confirm. Cool, that works. So I now have I now have the incredible balance of 1772. It's pretty special. I'm excited. I'm gonna go spin that right now. No, I'm not. I really won't. I don't know what I would spend it on. But yeah, that's good. Hey. And cheers to Fi, you know. At least they're giving out the occasional gift. I appreciate that. New Stadia game. Actually, it's not a bad point. I might. That actually is a really good point. I might go digging for a Stadia game. I need something new to stream on weekends. Maybe I'll go in and buy all the Hitman stuff that... I'm kidding. But yeah. Let's see. So I'm going to kill that topic. Oh, that's right. There were 2 topics I still had. Diablo, you bought Venom with your Play Store credit. Okay. Whoa. Question. First or second? First or second? Because, come on now. First, pretty good. I mean, aside from Michelle Williams, I'm not a big fan. Aside from her, like, the first one, it was goofy, but it was all right. The second was a struggle, man. The second was a real struggle. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I felt like I was sitting through watching just the first movie on replay, but this time with Woody Harrelson not doing a very good Woody Harrelson. I don't know. Like I said, didn't hate it. Just I feel like they could have done better with it. Is what I'm getting at. And I like the Venom character. Marina Kano in the email. Well, I'll pop this open real quick. Oops. Damn it. Come on. There we go. As Google Workspace continues to evolve, your the G Suite subscription will transition to a new Google Workspace Workspace subscription. Wow, I am Englishing well. As a user, premium features, including advanced mobile device management, your new recommended service plan is Business Plus. I wonder if it's because of the advanced device management. I don't know, because I don't think that gets lost by being in a smaller plan. It's you save 30% for the first year. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so they're bumping you up to that new price, but they're giving you a 30% discount off the bat. That's why the price goes up for a period of time. Because it's a signing, or it's a first year bonus. I get it. Okay, that makes sense. It's just awkward. It's a confusing, kind of a confusing trip through pricing. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, this weekend I'll be looking through Stadia games, or maybe wait for a sale. Maybe something good will go on sale. Okay, let's see. So, speaking of things that are coincidentally $15 price related, I don't have I think we've already kind of talked this thing to death, but I did actually kind of want to jump in and hit a weird angle on something that occurred to me after the discussions. So YouTube TV could lose Disney-owned channels by the end of this week. Like I said, we've kind of hammered this point so many times. We've hit this over and over again. Here's the thing. Something funny occurred to me, and it's honestly borderline hilarious. So, let's see, where is it? Okay, so if it turns out that they don't have a deal worked out by the end of this week, YouTube TV will drop in price by $15. Now, it is very notable at the end of this article that's on Android Police. Let's see. Google points out existing subscribers can sign up to the Disney Bundle, which is Disney's own streaming service available for $14 a month. And they can watch some of the content. Honestly, I don't know how much of the content comes in the Disney Bundle. I don't think it's this whole list. Though, I guess I could look. Disney Bundle. Now, do you guys show... Oops. Okay, there we go. All right. What's included? Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, the Hulu plan. Any specifics on what else, what is actually a part of those? No, of course not. All right. I'm sure I could go looking further, but so here's the thing that stood out to me. If this happens, in all likelihood, a fair number of people will be paying for the Disney Plus bundle through the Android app, which means Google will get a cut of that subscription. It comes with nothing, basically. Oh, okay. Well, I'm still going to make my point on this, though. Even if it's maybe a little bit broken down by that. Oh. We can... Yeah, I'm not going to get it all on screen. Who cares? But what stood out to me is a lot of the stuff that anyone's going to care about from this list of channels, you're probably going to get in the Disney Bundle. There are going to be some things you won't get. That happens. I'm assuming National Geographic probably doesn't come. Maybe not FX, I assume. I have no idea about some of the rest of this stuff. I'm assuming ABC actually doesn't, because I don't know if Disney Plus would include that, but it seems like it would be mentioned on this page if it was going to. Oh, wait. Stream the best stories. This does mention the best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, National Geographic. I wonder if that's the same as having the channel. Anyway, the thing is, I was starting to ask myself, who loses in this scenario? Because I think most people who were getting ABC, outside of the fact they would probably lose out on ABC, this seems like actually a win for most people. The bundle is actually $1 cheaper than what Google would be dropping YouTube TV. And as a result, Disney would actually be making less money. Wait, what? ESPN Plus doesn't include ESPN. Legit, guys, this is why I need a soundboard for this show. I need something. This is one of those moments where I just need like the soundboard that plays like the wah wah wah, or a fart sound or something. Seriously, ESPN Plus doesn't include ESPN. What the living? Why? I mean, I'm not a. I don't remember the last time I even saw ESPN. Honestly, the thing that sits in my brain when I think of ESPN is not even ESPN. The thing that sits in my brain when I think of ESPN is that old movie Dodgeball, ESPN 8, the Ocho. Like, that is my memory of ESPN. Why does it not include its signature channel? What the hell? How? Why? What is wrong with someone's brain that they're not including the actual channel it's named for? Thousands of live events and archives from UFC, MLB, international soccer, PGA, college sports, and more. Plus, get the complete 30 for 30 library, premium analysis, and daily studio shows. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, wait. If it doesn't include ESPN proper, does it still include the main content of ESPN? Like in an on-demand form or something? Or is this just like a totally separate thing? Like the things you get on ESPN Plus you can't get on ESPN, and the things you get on ESPN you can't get on ESPN Plus? Is it that sort of thing? I don't understand this. Why would they do that? And can you really call it the Magic Kingdom if their magic is just literally a disappearing act? I'm just saying. You could watch a documentary on the NBA. Oh my god. Check out their website. Okay, they do have games. It's basically live boxing, some soccer, and some lower tier college sports. Jesus. What? Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. This is bleak. This is super bleak. I mean, I guess if you're a UFC fan, I think this actually makes some sense, and a few of these other sports actually make sense. That it's if you're not focused on football, I imagine this is all right. And maybe basketball. I don't know. I think Carson's probably the man to confirm that one, but oof. Yeah. Why is this a thing? Why is this a thing at all? Why would they not put ESPN proper in ESPN Plus? Okay. Nothing interesting in there. Oh my god, this is... I'm honestly going to have to start working on material to roast Disney just for how bad this is. Anyway, so I take back what I said before. Yeah, now I feel pretty corrected on this, because I was thinking, hey, you know, like consumers, this would actually be a good thing, because they could pay less for YouTube TV and get, I thought, the same content. But evidently that's exactly wrong, because you would get nothing if you sign up for the Disney bundle. You're really just getting Disney's streaming archive. That sounds like it's really the only thing anyone's going to care about in that list. Yeah, so much yikes. That being said, I still hold to my previous point. I think this hurts this hurts YouTube TV a lot more than it would hurt Disney or any of its subsidiaries, because this, at the end of the day, makes YouTube TV look worse. So it's not ideal, but I don't think that that's going to be a killing blow. It just hurts YouTube TV more if a deal isn't reached. There was also another thought that struck me. Obviously, a whole lot of stories have been coming out about YouTube TV recently. Obviously, there was the Roku thing. There was the NBC. It was, I think, NBC, right? Peacock, I believe. And now, of course, it's time for Disney and ABC to come up. I wouldn't be surprised if we also hear something like this may have happened with other networks. The likely explanation, I bet anything, these are all the original contracts now coming to their natural expiration dates. So they all had to be renegotiated around the same time. I don't think it's some coincidence I don't think it's some circumstance where Google screwed up everyone or got into a bunch of fights. I think it's just literally the timing worked out that one after the other, they're all just like, this was the end of their agreed upon term. Now they have to renegotiate, and now Google is being stretched thin as they have to start finding ways to pay all the content or all the carriage fees that everyone wants to charge from the largest streaming service, while not getting totally raked for the fact that they're just not large enough to compete with cable companies. Anyway, let's see. Austin, who would have guessed Disney would screw up TV? Right? Probably some contract restrictions. Diablo, glad you did the Disney Plus 3 years deal thing. Disney screwed up movies. TV was also obviously the next thing. Yikes. And oh, hey, I know that this is totally off topic, but you know what should be coming up right about now? May as well just bring this one up. I mean, wait. Yeah, there's supposed to be, right about now, there should be season 3 of Mandalorian. Did they push that back? I mean, with all the drama surrounding it, I guess they could have, but I thought that I remember looking previously and seeing it was due in December. Sure, we'll just pop this open. Third season filming began in October. Yeah, that's not coming out real quick. Diablo, yeah, I know. I was looking forward to Witcher season 2 also, because man, I gotta rewatch season 1 for that. You cannot watch The Witcher without, like, season 1 of The Witcher you have to watch and then rewatch it to get the story, and then for season 2 rewatch it once or twice again. December 29th for Witcher season 2. Okay. Austin, I'm with you. Completely with you. The non-linear storyline was not the best choice. I would have actually been okay with it had they shown it with, like, different color. Like, give audiences more indication that you're in the past or a different point in time. Give audiences a way to tell what they're seeing other than looking for someone's haircut. Like, that is the only sign sometimes that you are in a particular point in history, is looking at someone's hair. Oh, wait, which is the 17th? Oh, 29th for the Book of Boba Fett. Okay. Um, Interesting. Yeah, I'll be a lot of Star Wars stuff happening really, really close. Um, yeah, this Friday. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I'll be digging into that stuff for sure. Looking forward to it. Um, okay, anyway, so yeah, I didn't have a whole lot to say on Disney, though this has obviously gone off in a couple of other directions. Um, I am also going to, because you gotta, I gotta talk about it. Uh, Google Glass might be coming back. All the glassiness could be coming back. So this stems from a story basically about yeah, Mark Lukovsky. Lukovsky. I don't know exactly how to say that for sure, but we're gonna go with that. He was a former Oculus engineer. Anyway, he has been coaxed over to Google to work on augmented reality. Now, it's a little non-specific that this has actually any connection with glass. And something that I've had to point out and yell at people in the past for is Google Glass was not AR, it was not VR, it was just a heads-up display. Technically, if you wanted to count the very little that Google Maps did, you could maybe argue that was a form of AR ish, very ish. But yeah, anyway, so I don't have a lot to say on this, but I'm kind of into the idea of seeing what Google can do now, because contrary to what a lot of the narratives were, it's not like they ever really stopped working on this stuff. So, a lot of technology has probably been built in the background, and we just haven't seen a lot of it. They obviously did a lot of it with, I can't think of the name of, Project Tango. A lot of things happened with Project Tango. A lot of things happened with, like infrared measurement. A lot of things have been happening, and I'm curious how all of those could possibly be brought together into a single product that is possibly VR, possibly AR, possibly a glass-like thing. I think it's maybe a little optimistic to associate this directly with glass. That seems maybe presumptive, but I do like the idea that Google could be returning to a project that is a little bit more ambitious, because I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like the company has really taken a step back from the big investments into new cool stuff. Not to say that like nothing at all against the fact that they did like the tensor chip. That honestly I think is a really big, huge step, and it's going to have implications for years to come. But it's not a cool technology that I can put on my face. It's not a cool technology that I can experiment with or look into and say, wow, this is something I haven't seen somebody else do. Even if it is probably something I have seen somebody else do, it's not, they haven't been doing that sort of stuff. They've been doing the little things that are neat. Like, they're really cool and the technology is impressive, but it still feels like little things. Getting like object removal on a photo. It's cool. It's great technology, but it feels like a little thing. I want to see Google do some bigger things again. Let's see. And I'm not quite done here exactly, but I'm going to kind of transition. But really quick, as a side note, Morena Kano, have you guys seen Matrix Awakens Wait, oh, game trailer. There's a game too? Huh. Man, I would watch this on stream, but I have a strong feeling that'll get a DMCA knock. Because that company. Anyway, I saw the movie trailer and I'm interested in the movie. Might be kind of curious about the game. Let's see. Can't wait for the real next-gen games. Have a theory that all the first 3 Matrix movies were just in the metaverse. Nice. I mean, if anything, that's like Skynet meets metaverse. Are we going to see Daydream revived in name, or they won't reuse? Honestly, I think the Daydream name is dead. I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong on that, but I think the Daydream name is gone. Because that is at this stage kind of bad branding. There's so many articles and stories written about how Daydream was killed, how Daydream was failing, how no one cared about Daydream. And like editorial after editorial saying, you know, it was a nice idea, but it's over. If you try to rehash that brand at this point, you literally like you're playing an actual risk that search engines are going to actually like if somebody searches for Daydream at this point, even if the new thing comes out, you're playing an actual risk that half of the people are going to get articles saying Daydream is dead already, even though they're talking about an old thing. So no, that is over for sure. Devin, click the video and keep the audio in your headphones. Fun fact, and I have done that actually. I've done that several times. If I go to the movie posts that I update every week and play those videos, several times I've actually gotten temporary claims on those videos. The claims always clear themselves up. I think I had to refute one of them. But yeah, just having the video in the stream, even though like I am physically here and it's not that big of a deal, like there are other things on screen, YouTube notices it. It can actually detect video playing. I don't know if it's YouTube that's doing that technology or if it's the companies or what, but no, they spot that stuff. Even without the audio, they spot that. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but they do it. Yeah, anyway. No, I will watch. I'll even pop this open just so I have the tab there and ready. But I will watch that in a little bit. Okay, let's see. Really quick, I'm checking the Discord. Well, okay, I'll come back to the Discord in a minute. I also wanted to just hop over to this one. I have literally nothing special to say here. I just, since there was talk about Google Glass coming up, it just felt notable to mention Oppo is working on its own Google Glass competitor or knockoff or clone, you know, but 8 years later. And if nothing else, like I gotta say, I just dig the fact that it looks better. I mean, this is what everyone wanted Glass to be like in the first place. So yeah, I honestly, it's not like Oppo's gonna send it to me to try, but I hope they send it to me to try, because I'm all about this. I think this is awesome. I love this kind of stuff. So, you know, hopefully they'll do something with this. Like this, I know that this is not that big of a deal, but when I was using Google Glass, it is hard to actually play down how cool it was to have a heads-up display I mean, it's not in your field of view exactly. It's kind of off to the side and above. But having a heads-up display with a map that you don't have to look way off your axis of view. You just glance up, you can see your map, you can see directions right there. Having something like this in your field of view, a very simple thing that you can just see and is not that intrusive, that is amazing. It is so much better for driving. Honestly, I get why they don't do this in car windshields. It makes sense that they don't do this in car windshields, but I desperately wish they would do this in car windshields. Give me the ability to project something onto a car windshield, and I'm in for it. Like, and I know they have like the basic heads-up displays with little bits of information, usually down at the bottom of a windshield. I've seen that. That's great. I want something that's showing you directions. It like a map. It doesn't have to be right in the way of your view, but somewhere in the corner is perfect. Oh, watch the trailer off screen to see reaction. Okay. I will do that. Though it's an 11-minute video, so this is going to be kind of a watch and do multiple things at once. The good old music. Gotta love the music. But okay, we're gonna fast forward a couple seconds to get to the actual action. Oh, that is beautiful rendering. It's not quite photorealistic. Keanu, I feel like I'm watching Cyberpunk now, but you know, like pretty. Okay, this is all video, isn't it? It's not like they're rendering out him walking, are they? It looks like it's just... Oh, wait, no, that movement isn't natural. Okay, now I've seen this trick before where he's just walking through the movie. That's neat as hell, but it's not entirely brand new. Okay, never mind. That's awesome. The way they have Trinity walking is so awkward. Like, they needed to mocap that. Yeah, now that they're actually into something that looks like gameplay footage, it looks a lot less photorealistic, though. But that's an Xbox Series X. Yeah, we need another generation of consoles to really start hitting the photorealistic stuff. Because we're just like things look better and better every generation, but we're still not there yet. We're not to that point where we can really just push the most obscene pixels. Oh God. It's all supposed to be a little unreal. I can see that they still have the same hokey writing. Honestly, I'm in for it though. I want to see the new movie. As cheesy as it may be, I want to see the new movie. Okay. I'm going to jump to like 3/4 of the way in. I just jumped to the big explosion on the freeway. Yeah, I don't do a good Keanu. Are you kidding? I probably could with some practice. He is not the hardest person to imitate, but I really have never practiced a Keanu. We're a week away from the movie. Yeah, I know, but oh, you know, I really didn't check this. The movie's just in theaters, isn't it? I'm almost certain it's only theatrical release. Matrix release. Wait, what do I want to search for? Actually, you know, we can just... Oh, is it HBO Max on the same day? Oh, that's right. It's not in the movie post now because I'm only doing a week ahead. Austin, you like the movie trailer, but you think the movie's going to suck? It might. It very well might, but I'm being optimistic about it that I don't think it's necessarily going to be that good of a movie. But that doesn't change the fact that I think it will be an enjoyable movie. Nanite visualization. This trailer I'm watching through some of their like sample footage that's getting matched with their render pipeline. Okay, this does look freaking great. Again, it's not photorealistic, but can I just say seriously? All right. Okay. Since now I'm straight up critiquing. This is a no questions asked. I'm just critiquing it. So this is full fair use territory. This is fantastic. I mean, this looks so good. Imagine if Cyberpunk looked like this when it came out. Because Cyberpunk doesn't look anywhere close to this good. And honestly, it doesn't look bad. But like it doesn't leave me going, "Oh my god, wow, it's so beautiful." This is just fully and completely a much better look. And this isn't perfect. You can definitely tell where there's some bogus effects. You can tell like the body movement is awkward. Look at that draw distance. Now, I don't know if this is actually rendering on like legit real hardware per se, but that draw distance and the detail that it had, that's too good. That is fantastic. So in terms of what they're accomplishing with Unreal 5, like hell yes, that is incredible. In terms of what they're going to accomplish with the movie, I'm sure it will make money. But yeah, we'll see. Last HBO Max. Oh, is it the last one that they're doing as a side-by-side? I guess it would be. Yeah, it's December. I forgot that they had committed to do it through 2021. But yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the movie. Even if it's bad, I think it'll at least be fun. There is such a thing as movies that are both. Let's be honest. If you watched much of 2021's releases, or really half of 2020's releases, not good but kind of fun does describe quite a bit. And I was just about to throw shade at a couple of movies that were not good or fun, that were huge releases, but I'll leave that for another time. Think the theaters still only have 30 days of exclusivity. Could be wrong. Wait, what do you mean? You mean before it goes to other services besides HBO, or something else? And also on that note, man, I know it's not really necessary, but man, I really, really wish all the companies that are doing 45 days of exclusivity on movies for theaters, because that's kind of become the de facto standard for most of them. I want that over with. I want to start seeing stuff at least a month after it comes out, if not a couple weeks. I know that's not fair. They want to make their money and everything, but man, 45 days just feels like a little long. Diablo, Cyberpunk should have just gone next gen and cut the old consoles. 100% yes. I get why they didn't. I honestly do, because they needed to have high sales numbers. For a game that was in development as long as Cyberpunk was, they had to get high sales numbers. And so they put the game out on consoles that were not cut out to run the game. Plain and simple, it was too much. And when you think about it, at the time of release, you could not get a PS5. It was not realistic. So they had to release a PS4 version. You could not get a current Xbox Series X. So you had to get a 360. Or maybe if you were lucky, you got a Series S. Was that available yet? I don't remember. So, you know, if you ship a game and don't ship it to consoles, you are killing yourself. Like, they were going to make no money if they only shipped basically for PC and Stadia. They had to ship for consoles, and since the two next-gen consoles were basically completely unavailable, I get why they shipped for the older generations, but as a result, it destroyed the reputation of that game. Absolutely just wrecked it. So I understand how that happened. It made sense. It just sucks. There was no way that could go well. But hey, on the plus side, they kept running. They are going to get out an update someday that adds some DLC content. Maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Diablo, Sony is terrible. Please let Spider-Man come to Disney Plus. Yes. I look. I get why Sony is doing what they're doing, but man, I really wish they would just fully put Spider-Man into the hands of Marvel. Just charge a licensing fee and a part of the box. Just keep it simple. Let Marvel take over Spider-Man. It just needs to happen. It's okay. Let's be honest. Even the actors want to work for Marvel and not Sony. But hey, it is what it is. And it's not like they're going to turn down an opportunity to be in another Spider-Man movie. So, yeah. Miranda Cano. Theaters used to have 45 to 90 days, depending on the studio agreement, before it went to home release and streaming. And now, after the pandemic, they revisited that agreement. Yeah. I believe Paramount, Disney, and someone else. I forget who. I've started kind of learning way too much about this stuff since doing that movie post, but they all currently have 45-day gaps where they're guaranteeing the exclusivity to the theaters for 45 days, but at any point after that, they can release it to streaming or other avenues. Yeah, it's better than it was, but it's still not great. And oh my god, keeping track of it is a nightmare. Trying to follow movie releases is impossible. Disney was a dictator, but they were well organized. Sony would give you 5 different answers and then send a completely different contract and ghost you until the deadline. Yeah, that was actually a lot of that stuff. Kind of came out with that hack where they revealed some Sony executive, well, strictly speaking, Sony Entertainment executive was bad mouthing Angelina Jolie. And yeah, some of the details that came out, actually, that's pretty much what happened. All the streaming agreements have caveats based on box office performance too. Yep, exactly. I don't put them into the movie post too often, but there have been like 3 or 4 movies that I found the exact terms actually publicly posted. I included, like, if movie hits such and such in the box office, then the delay is 45 days. If it only hits this by a certain time, then the delay is 30 days. Yeah, I actually included that in a few of the movie post entries. I don't think any of them currently have it, but that has been there in the past. And whenever I find a movie that has a confirmed, like, 45-day exclusivity, I try to always put it in there. Eternals soon on Disney Plus. Yeah, is it me, or did that movie just not get a lot of attention? I haven't seen it. I feel like not that eager to see it because it feels like it doesn't matter, but I can't tell, and I haven't heard too many people talk about it. It feels like the movie that happened but didn't happen. Oh, I just looked back in Discord. What is this? International Trade Commission bans import and sale of Roku products for infringing a UEI patent. Universal Electronics, UEI, the global leader in wireless universal control solutions for home entertainment and smart home devices, today announced the USITC publicly issued its favorable final determination on UEI's patent infringement case against Roku, concluding several Roku products infringing a UEI patent and barring the importation and sale of those products. The orders will become final on January 9th, 2022, following the expiration of a presidential review period. We brought this action to protect our high... blah, blah, blah. Okay, we don't care about their statement. The ITC's opinion made clear that Roku's products infringe 6 different claims. Importantly, the commission made clear that Roku will need to certify to customs at customs discretion that the products Roku wants to import are not infringing and therefore not excluded from entry. We do not believe Roku can meet this burden, and beginning July 9th, any of Roku's infringing products will be subject to exclusion from importation. Holy crap. That's brutal. See, this stuff always comes up. It happens. But man, Roku is lucky this didn't happen before Christmas. No one's going to be buying a Roku after that time anyway. And in truth, a lot of Roku's stuff will sit in stores for at least another month or 2 before they start running out of inventory. And if Roku's smart, they'll probably honestly try to ramp up shipping and hammer as much stuff into the country as they can before the deadline. But yeah, this is bad. Like, that is not a situation you want to be in. I'm sure they'll end up working out a deal, or they'll come up with some way to maybe work around the patents with software or something. I'm not going to bother looking at what the patents are, but that is... yikes. That is a really bad situation. I wonder if that's gonna pose any issues with... Actually, are these hardware or software patents? There's only one link out. And I bet this is not... Certain electronic devices, including streaming players, televisions, set-top boxes, remote controllers, and components thereof. Background. Ugh. Come on. Don't make PDFs that aren't bookmarked. Okay. Commission determined, blah, blah, blah. Procedural history. You get patent numbers. You guys aren't going to name the patents, are you? Yeah, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to tell. What I'm curious about is, does this impact televisions that just simply include Roku software? Because if they do, there are going to be a lot of companies really pissed. Well, maybe not a lot. It's not like that's a huge, huge thing, but Roku running on televisions would be pretty devastating in that sense. The accused products include certain Roku streaming boxes, sound bars, and associated remote control devices. Oops. Commission is determined to impose a bond in the amount of 0% of entered value during the period of presidential review. UEI does not set out any price comparisons in its briefs on review, but it did argue in its post-hearing brief that the accused products can vary dramatically in price. $12 for Roku remote to $100 for a Roku Ultra to $149 for the soundbar to thousands of dollars for Roku TVs. As do the DI products versus thousands of dollars for Samsung television. Yeah, I'm wondering. The TVs are, to me, the bigger question here. I mean, this is a big deal no matter what. But how this impacts TVs, I think, that could be devastating. Diablo. Oddly, TCL Google TVs got pulled from Best Buy, but the Roku version's still live. Yeah, mostly because this isn't going to go into effect yet. This is one of those things where the limitation is on import and currently present products, since they've effectively already entered the market. So if a lawsuit targets anyone selling a Roku TV product, that's a different type of situation. Basically, bringing stuff into the country is the first thing that you have to target. If you try to target anything else, then you're getting into lawsuits with Best Buy and a number of other companies. So you don't want to do that. That is expensive, and it is a dangerous legal road to go down, because basically companies can pretty much always say, look, we'll honor your stuff, but you have to pay us all of our losses. It doesn't always work out that way, but it does sometimes. And truth be told, like if you do that to Best Buy, then Best Buy then turns around and says, okay, we will just stock no product that you have a patent on. At which point you've shot yourself in the foot. So they're not going to go after Best Buy. They'll go after just Roku. And the only way they can go after Roku is by going after their imports. Let's see. Marina Kano. Anyone here waiting on their Pixel 6 Pro December update? It seems like I'm the only one who got the update out of the room, right? Because mine didn't come like first thing, but I got mine pretty early. Diablo still waiting. Might be good you're waiting. Saw reports. Stuff not really fixed. Yeah, there are reports that apparently they are having connectivity issues. Let's see. Do I have that open? No, I don't. I don't want to go looking for that one, but yeah, there are big issues. Apparently there are cellular connection issues popping up with the Pixel 6 after the December update, which not good. Hopefully that gets fixed quickly. And I wonder, was that really just with December update, or did people only just start noticing with that? Forgot what you wanted from the update. I don't remember what it was supposed to include. It's weird how that goes, but I really have no recollection of what the update was supposed to do. All right, let's see. I actually have to get going pretty shortly for something else, but really quick, I saw this tweet pop up. Thanks to Diablo for linking this one. Android devs sent a box full of all the swag they sent throughout the year. Looking forward to cooking in the new jammies and joining the Android DevRel support system UI. Okay, that is actually some pretty awesome gear. The oven mitt is like awesome. I dig that. Diablo, don't have a sim in mind. Correct. My Pixel 6, while I do finally have a case on it, thank you to Moment for that one. I finally am cased up like a big boy. So yeah, I can throw lens on if I actually want to. But yeah, I haven't thrown a SIM card in here yet. I'm probably not going to until at least this particular issue is fixed, and I'm still undecided on which SIM card I'm going to throw in. It may be I may go with the Project Fi or Google Fi SIM card. I may go with my AT&T SIM card. I have not decided. And yeah, it is a good case. I have still one issue with it though. Because they left the sides, you really won't be able to see it in the camera, but they left the sides basically so that you can do gestures on it. It still has that effect. Almost did not catch that. Well, actually, I didn't catch it. It did land on the ground, but no harm done. But yeah, so I still have to actually be super careful not to put anything on top of this phone because it will slide off. It has happened a dozen times. But at least the top and bottom do now have ridges. So it is protected at least somewhat if it were to fall. And that's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. Yeah, it is the most slippery phone I've ever had. By far, like every other phone, it does not. None of them slip like this one does. This has the glossiest of glossy screens in that sense. But yeah, anyway. So, I can feel my voice going a bit. Plus, I actually have to go take care of something. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up right here. Thanks to everyone for coming by, hanging out, being part of the conversation. Again, we will not be doing this week's regular game streaming session. Instead, it will be a Techathon weekend. I will be part of the discussions and probably party games a little bit. Other than that, it'll be a bit more of a quiet week. There is a chance that I may stream Sunday night, I think. Well, it depends on timing. We'll see how it goes. Mirai Nakano, definitely happy to have you back. Let's see. Oh, also PayPal. Yeah, I know. I need to do that. I keep putting off changing my links down below from Streamlabs to PayPal, but I will do that shortly. But yeah, anyway, glad to have everybody back. Glad to have everyone around being part of the conversation, chatting with me, keeping me rambling. I hope you all have an awesome rest of the week, and I'll see everybody in Discord, as is always a good thing. So take it easy, everybody, and to everybody, good night.